Everyone, you know what I mean? All right, man. So, yeah, Shalom. This is the ISUPK under Commanding General YAHANNA, and today's class is the Thursday Scripture Breakdown class. And for those of you that are not aware, Slacky, 1 second. Yeah, we do have a school in the UK. The address is 394 Lodge Road, postcode B185PW. So the school is in the city of Birmingham. If you can't make it to Birmingham, then do watch us online on the YouTube, ISUPK United Kingdom, on the Facebook, ISUPK United Kingdom, on the Instagram, I believe, or if you got Instagram, ISUPK underscore UK. And we got a TikTok account as well, ISUPK underscore UK. And also we have a a a, a Google My Business page as well, where on that you can look for us and you can get the directions too, man. So if you have a car, then they'll work out a route for you via car. You want to catch the a bus, a train, anything you want to get, you will also get the directions too. So that's what we got going on. You know what I mean? Also this Friday at 9 o'clock, do watch on the ends, man. You know what I mean? Officer Karafi has got some good subjects lined up, man. If you ain't seen the advert, you might want to go on the Facebook page, ISUPK United Kingdom, and just see what we got for you, man. So definitely you don't want to miss on the end. To be fair, you don't want to miss on the end at all. But definitely this week, you don't want to miss it, man. So that's what we got going on for the UK. So this being the scripture breakdown class, if there's any scriptures you need broken down, then you ask him here. If you believe John 3:16 means God so loved the world, bring it here, and we will show you that the world is the society of the Israelites. The world and earth are not the same thing, or any other scripture that you need broken down. But if no one hasn't got anything, then we do have a subject to go into. So we will do that in the meantime. So today's subject today is that we was in slavery 400 years ago, and we are in slavery today, man.
That's
Now,
right.
why do we need to go into this? Because many people out there, they believe that slavery was so long ago, not realizing that we are in slavery today, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's like this, minus having your back whipped and working to build England, and you're not getting paid at all. We are
hmm
still in that same predicament. Nothing has changed. The only thing is now we believe the lie, man. At least in slavery, we knew who the enemy was, man. We knew who was raping us. We knew who was harming us. But now, because you're able to work a 9 to 5 or a 6 till 6, and you're able to pay your rent, get you a car, play the Xbox One. So many of us, if we ain't mindful, we believe that what happened to us 400 years ago is not happening today. And that's the problem. What happened 400 years ago is happening to us today, man, in 2021. So
Right.
I got an article I would like to bring out first. Then we will get into the scripture breakdown aspect of it as well. Grab this article 1 second. Like, if you get it, it's historicengland.org UK. So as I said before, do feel free to type your questions in. It's being a scripture breakdown class. So if you can read that for me.
Black lives in England in the latter half of the 18th century. England had a black population of 15,000 people.
All right. So this is talking about the beginning of the 1900s, man. And in England, there was blacks here. Like one thing a lot of people don't understand is that with black people of West Indian descent, the Windrush isn't the first time we was here. Even before the Windrush, there was blacks in England, man, from the West Indies. After the Second World War was done, even at that time, we was here, and before that as well, man. So now there was 15,000 of us in England at that time. Reader.
They lived mostly in major cities, London, Liverpool, and Bristol,
Uh-huh.
and also in market towns and villages across the country. The majority worked in domestic service, both paid and unpaid.
And there you go, man. Meaning what? When we was in England, even at this time, we were going through the same thing that we're going through right now, man. You know what I mean? All those places it mentioned there, we are there till this day, man.
Right.
And we were doing them same jobs, showing that what slavery did not end, man. Our
Come.
oppression did not end, even when we was in England. We are still in the same situation as a man that was alive just over a thousand years ago now. Nothing hasn't changed, man. And the problem is, so many of us, we think, it's different now. It's not the same. And when you go into the history, when you scroll through those archives, you realize it is exactly the same, man. Reader.
That's right.
While slavery had no legal basis in England, the law was often misinterpreted. Black people previously enslaved in the colonies overseas and then being brought to England by their owners were often still treated as slaves. Some individuals who had formerly been enslaved got baptized, believing this would ensure them their freedom.
And there you go, man. For us hoping that we would get free, we would follow their religion, man. We would get baptized, hoping that, with this man, he would let me go, man. And that's what you see going on now. You go through Handsworth, London, up north. What do you see among us? Us always joining our enemies'
Right.
religion, hoping that it might help us, man.
Right.
Hoping that the oppressor, he might look at us in a different light if
Come.
I serve his God. And we did that even in England over 1,000 years ago, man. Over 1,000 years ago, when some West Indians were here, We did the exact same thing, man. Reader.
Others took advantage of being on English soil and absconded. Notices for runaway slaves featured in newspapers during this period.
So now, if you came to England and you ran away, there was a notice out for you, man. Even being here, our oppressor still looked at us as a slave, man. And
Right.
that's what you got going on now, man. Just because we're able to go into a bar and have a drink, that oppressor still looks at you as what? As if you are a slave, man.
Right.
And it's the same thing. It is nothing new. So,
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Salakia.
so you know, no, so whenever someone says to you, that was 400 years ago, man. Listen, that is nonsense, man. We are reading what happened even at this time, and it matches what is happening now, showing you what that slavery is not all done, man.
Right.
All
That's
that,
right.
but you're complaining about something that happened 400 years ago. That is nonsense. And how do you know that is nonsense? Because it is happening right now, man.
That's
the
right.
the same obstacles we had 400 years ago, a black man has till this day.
That's right.
And once we realize that, maybe we might find help from something else, man.
Right.
Maybe we might seek salvation from something else instead of just going around doing the exact same thing. All right, someone give me Isaiah 61 and 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter
Salakia,
6.
sir. Salakia, sir, if I could.
Yeah.
Like, because the white man smile with our people, right? And skin teeth with them and laugh with them and joke with them and they've deceived our people. Our people think they're their brethren or they're their friends. You know what I mean? And they
That's
get
right.
bamboozled by a smile. And all right, Tom, well, how you doing? And you know how they talk and nice and polite and respectful, deceiving our people. And behind our backs, all they're doing is voting for the Brexit. You feel me? It's like yeah.
There you go, man. And
What's add to that?
on the back of that, Brexit showed how racist England is, man. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? And the example is this. You know what I mean? If Brexit happened, there was someone that wanted it to happen. And guess what?
Right.
People that wanted it to happen, it's the white people that you see every day, man.
That's
They
right.
smile in front of your face. I like some reggae music, I do. And
Yeah.
behind your back, they wanted Brexit, man. Behind your back,
Right.
I want all these people gone, man. I mean, it's like it doesn't feel like it's my homeland anymore, man. Seeing all these blacks, seeing all these Romanians, and guess what? They wanted it. Which showed you that just because someone acts a certain way in
Yeah.
front of you doesn't mean that's how they feel, man. Or
Mm.
otherwise, Brexit would not have happened. England
That's right.
would not have broken away from the EU. It wouldn't have happened if, you know what I mean, the oppressor, he didn't feel some type of way about another race that's not him being in a country that belongs to him. So let's
Right.
get that Isaiah 61 and 1.
Khan. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
And there you go, man. So now, if you've never read Isaiah 61 and 1, this is Yahushua right here, man. He's talking about his objective. He's talking about his job. And it goes, the Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, meaning what he came on this earth to do, God wanted him to do it, man.
Right.
That's why the Spirit of God is upon him
Right.
to preach good tidings to the meek. A tiding is news, man. To preach good news to the meek. And let me tell you something, black people, we are the meek, man.
That's right.
Mhm.
Now, what makes us meek? We've been beat down that much, man.
Mhm. Mhm.
Society, life, racism is beat black people down so much. We become meek, man. Are
Right.
people that don't know what to do. Are people that, you know, it's wrong, but we just get on with it. And that's why with Christ, he had to come for us, man, to give us the good news, man. Why? Because without this, we would be meek forever, man. We would be oppressed, walked over forever. And that's why the Most High had to send him to do it, man, to wake us
Right.
That's
up,
right.
man. And it blows my mind when someone says, yeah, but slavery was in the past, and not realizing you were in slavery today, man.
Con.
And you can even look at the analogy in the
Right.
1600s. What would we do? Work, eat, go to bed, wake up in the morning, work, eat, go to bed. What do you do now? Work, eat, go to bed,
Right.
work, eat, go to bed, work. You get your wage. What does it do? Pay the rent so that you have a roof over your head to do what? Go to sleep and go to work again, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? That is what it is all about, man. And it's sad that we don't recognize that. We don't look and go, hang on, I'm going through the same thing that my ancestors were going through 400 years ago, man. It's the exact same thing. It's
Con.
nothing new. Read on.
Another one come. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted,
And there you
to
go, man.
proclaim.
It's like it. And there you go. Who is the broken-hearted black people, man?
Right.
We are broken-hearted, and you want to know why? We've served our oppressors, God, man. We fought in World War One and in the Second World War. We've given our oppressor all of our love, and what has he done? Broken our heart, man.
Right.
That's why Christ had to come, man. We've always had the same problem from the beginning. And you want to know what it is? We don't love us, man.
Right.
The reason why we're in some pagan religion is because we
Mhm.
don't love ourselves, man. We
Right.
don't love ourselves. Just like with Adam. Adam, he left the way that the Lord handed him to go and be, to go and do the a culture of someone else, man. And the
Right.
same way, Adam done that wrong, we do it too, man.
Right.
We leave the Lord to go and join someone else, and what happens? We get brokenhearted, man. So many black people from the West Indies gave their life to England, man. And then, you can read it in history books. And then once the war was done, guess what they said? Well, now, seeing as the war is done, go back home, man. Imagine that black people lost their lives, man, lost their limbs to make
Right.
England not not lose. I know they could say as well, the war's done. When are you going back home, man?
Right.
That's why we are the brokenhearted reader.
Another one come. To proclaim liberty to the captives.
And there you go, man. Christ proclaimed Christ proclaimed freedom to the captives, man.
Right.
And that's us, man. We are
It,
the
it,
people that are captives, man. When
That's
a
right.
black man says slavery is in the past, he's a captive, man.
Right.
When a
so
woman goes, yeah, but you're talking about things that happened 400 years ago.
Right.
That's a captive, man. That is a captive right there, man.
So
And
like
with
you said.
Christ, he came to free captives. You know, whether we like it or not, many things that we say and we don't think about it, that proves that we are captives, man. Kanye?
So like you said, yeah, because right, our people don't even know they're captives. They don't even know they're slaves. They think this is the normal way of life, the normal way to live. They've been beat down so badly that they don't know. They don't. I mean, before I come into the I.S.U.P.K, I had to look up to myself and say, is this my life? Is this my be all and end all? This is what I got to live and die for. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of our people that are still stuck in that frame and that mentality that they're not in captivity. They don't believe they're in captivity. Just to add to what you said, so like,
There you go. And listen, I'm gonna give you an example in the Bible as well, man. After we read Isaiah, read on.
And the opening of the prison to them that are bound.
And there you go, man. So meaning we are locked up, and guess what? Christ came to open those prison houses, man. We are a people that are bound, man. You know, if you're in the mosque as a black man, you are bound, man. If you're in
right,
church as a black man, you are bound, man. If you're talking
right,
about Rasta and Haile Selassie, you are bound, man.
right.
And you mean I don't want to divert. Do you know how that is racist as well? You gotta look up to a land that isn't yours, and even Sir Alassii, he's not even dark skinned, man. That is a form of
Mm,
racism in itself. So they couldn't give you someone from that land that, you know what I mean? Now, of course, now light skin, dark skin hasn't got anything to even do with it. You know what I mean? But the point I'm making is, you know, they're talking about Africa, black power, and then you're forced to look up to some Ethiopian man that is damn near light skin anyway, man.
right.
Even that in itself is a form of racism that the Messiah who you think it is, he can't even be dark skinned either, man. He couldn't be dark skinned either. So
Right.
even all that rast stuff, that is a form of self hate too, man. Because you know what I mean, I've watched documentaries on that land right there, and there's dark skinned Ethiopians too, man. So now the Messiah, it couldn't have been one of them. So even that in itself, that is a prison house, man. That's a prison house in itself, man. Salaki says you had something. Okay, now, okay, what you said there, it sounds good, but it's not biblical. In the Bible, it says there's one way, man. I mean, there's not many ways, and that's the issue that we have as people. You know, like, okay, then, right now, let's look at another race. They don't have many ways. Indians, one second, Indians have one religion. They have one mindset. And if you look at anyone, Indians, what's some other ones? You know what I mean? Okay, if you look at any race,
Pakistanis,
you know what I mean?
Samoans.
They have small disagreements, but as a whole, they have one mindset. There may be small things, yeah, but as a whole, they go, no, this is what we believe. And the problem with us as blacks, we believe there's so many ways. You got
Mm,
your way, I got mine. I don't see it like that. And the sad thing is, while we think like that, reality shows us every day Nobody else thinks like that.
Can't.
Out in the wide world, no one thinks like that. Indians, they don't think like that. You're going to follow Hinduism, Sikhism. You're going to follow this, and they have one mindset. We got, well,
So
you
like
can
is
be
it?
in church. 1 second, have you? You mean you can be in church from as long as you know that the real Jews are black. You can be in the mosque. You know what I mean, from as long as you're teaching blackness, and that ain't gonna help us, man. You know
Right.
why? Religion has divided us already, man.
Right.
Religion has divided black people where we are at a point where if you don't follow what I think is right, we can't help each other. We can't
Right.
have a care or a love for each other. And then what does that do? Divide us, man. So you're gonna see me needing help, and you're gonna think, well, he's not in the mosque, though, man. I know he needs help, but he doesn't believe in Allah. So sorry, man. And they don't think like that. They know, listen, we are a race of people. We have one mindset. Yeah, we got little small things, but the base of us is we are a race of people, and they have
Right.
one way. I mean, and that has always been the problem that us as black people have always had. And what shocks me the most is no one believes it anyway. Let me say something. Everyone that says you got your way, I got mine. Well, if you got your way, I got mine. Why do you try to convert me?
Right.
Right.
Why are you converting me? If allegedly we got so many ways, why do you want me to join your religion? You want to know why? Because deep down he don't believe that. He
That's
Right.
doesn't
it.
Right.
believe what I believe is the way. And I would
Mm-hmm.
rather someone be honest and go, listen, honestly, I believe Islam is the way, and then we can work
Mm.
on than someone going so many ways and then in a half snaky way, not you know what I mean? They want you to follow what they believe. And that's
Right.
what we see every day. You know what I mean? We hide from things that are obvious. All these ways can't be right. You know what I mean? And us as black people, we avoid that. Slaki Haki and you had something.
Can't. And that's further proof. Just to add to what you said, are people being destroyed because they think black people think they know everything. They think they don't have to be taught. They think they can be self-taught when the Bible say a man has to teach you. You understand? So this further proof that, like you said, everyone else ain't doing it, but we are. And that's further proof that they still don't believe they're in captivity. They think everything's normal. Salakia. So add on to
There you
that.
go, man. No sweat. Let's get John 8 and 29. So I'm gonna give you an example. The same way people think we are free now, we thought this thousands of years ago, even though evidently we was not, man. So we're gonna start from John 8 and 29.
John 8:29. And he that sent me is with me. The Father have not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him.
And there, man. And now with them, yeah, how was I? He said to them, listen, what the Father wants, I do it, man. And guess what? If we wanna, you know what I mean, if we want help in this walk, if we want to open the eyes of those that think that slavery was 400 years ago, we need to
Mm,
follow this example right here, man.
right.
You
Right.
mean we need to please the Most High too, man? So that's
Hmm.
it. Well, okay. Off the back of that, it's one thing to look and see and go, yes, I know. But when it comes to obeying God, it requires action. And now, now you mean now it is a good thing that you understand, but many of us, that's true. But the thing is, many of us don't, because of you know what I mean, because of the philosophies we have received. What do a lot of us think that for you to obey God, it doesn't require anything. You just have Him in your heart, and that's not how obedience works, man. Obedience is action. Obedience is something that you and I have to do. But
Right.
because religion, yeah, I see that, man. God, yeah, man, I know, but I don't want to change, man. I want to live me, and that is something that we don't know as a people. Read that one more time, John 8:29,
John 8, verse 29. And he that sent me is with me.
and there you
The
go, man.
Father,
If you serve the Most High is with you, man. And guess what? With our greatest example, he knew it too, man. Because he done the will of the Most High, he knew that the Most High was with him. Reader.
Kadawan Khan. Alone. For I do always those things that please him. As he spake these words, many believed on him. And then said Yahushua to the Jews, which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed.
So then guess what? What he received, we can receive it as well, man. If we can continue in his word, we can be his disciples indeed, man. We can do what he did, man. And that's what we need to understand, man. That like the same way, he broke from being bound, he opened up the doors. We can do it too, man. We can open the prison house to us that are bound, man. Blacks
Right.
and Hispanics that are bound. We can do it, man. If we do his work, man. Reader.
Kadawan Khan. And you, Salakia, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
All right, so now with this verse right here in the church, people love this verse, but what is this verse really talking about, man? In the church, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. In church, people quote this all the time, but reading from verse 29, what is this verse talking about? What does this verse really mean, man?
Keeping, it's like the other one. Keeping is doing the will of the Most High.
Yeah, which?
Keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments.
That's true, but okay then. With the verse that we read, break it down so I can understand it.
It's like, if I may, I was going to go into link it kind of to the previous one I read in Isaiah, where the Most High is the spirit to give power to the meek and free the captives. So knowing the truth and knowing the laws of who you are, it frees you from that mindset of captivity.
Give him a hand. That is it right there, man. In church, you shall know the truth and shall set you free. Now, always say to them, free from what? In church, it's a verse that is quoted so much. No one never thinks, well, hang on a second. What is this verse talking about, man? You know the truth, meaning you obey God. You're free from sin, man. You're free from being bad. You're free from the what's the biblical term? The wiles of the enemy, man. You know the truth. It sets you free. It absolutely does. The problem is in religion, they don't know what this verse is talking about. And if you think I'm making it up, read the next verse.
And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. They answered him, "We be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man.
And guess what?
How
It's like,
sayest thou?"
and that's a lie, man. Never in bondage, and that's
Right.
no, no. What they're saying is they are descendants of Abraham, and we was never in bondage. And
Mm.
guess what? You mean you
Oh,
can read the Bible? We was in
mm.
bondage many times. What are you
God.
talking about, man? And guess why? You mean? Do you know why they said that there? Because they're the same people reincarnated right now, man. Thinking
Right.
I'm not in bondage, I'm free. Well, listen,
Mm.
the Bible, man. We've been in bondage so many times, and what's the problem? We didn't see it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even while Christ was on the earth, we was under bondage under who? The Romans, man.
Right.
And they had the nerve to go, we Abraham's seed, being
Yeah.
under bondage to any man. Yes, you are, man.
That's
When
right.
when another race of people rule over you, you are
Right.
in bondage, man. When
Mm.
another nation of people tell you what to do in your own land right here, you are in bondage. Stuck.
That's right.
Paying taxes, Caesar? That shows
It's
Yeah, as I said, you know what I mean they were paying Roman tax, man. You know what I mean for
right.
those that don't know, a tax means you are a tax means that you are beneath them, man.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? You're giving them gold and silver and all things so that they don't wipe you off the face of the earth, man. And Rome is
Right.
notorious for it. It's like,
Mm.
there you go. Absolutely, man. And that I got, and that's the point right there, man. That the same way we didn't notice that we was in bondage, we do
Mm-hmm.
that today, man.
Right.
So many of us in England now we're free, man. I get to play PlayStation 5, man. You know what I mean? I got my house, my heater, and you know what I mean? Not realizing that, you know what I mean? That doesn't mean that you're not a slave. It
Right.
doesn't it doesn't mean that, man. Saki crap. That's it.
And Luke 2 and 4. And Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David.
All right. So I'll break it down. So at this point, Joseph, he had to return to which place again? Jerusalem. Yeah, he had to return to Jerusalem because with the Romans, you know what I mean? When it came time for the attacks, you had to return to the place that you originated from. So you know what I mean? For him to pay his tax, he had to go to his hometown, man. So now again, if he wasn't in bondage unto any man, then why can't he stay where he was, man? Why? Because
Mm.
we're in bondage. What, reader?
To be taxed.
To be what?
To be taxed.
We are in bondage, man.
To be taxed.
Right.
With Mary, his spouse wife.
And there you go, man. He had to return to Jerusalem with his wife to be taxed, man. To be
Right.
taxed. You know what I mean? You ain't free, man. If you're taxed, that is a sign of slavery, man.
That's true.
You're making that empire rich, and your empire is diminishing, man.
Right. Right.
Giving Rome your gold, you are giving Rome your diamonds, you are
Right.
giving Rome your wealth, and
Mm-hmm.
that is bondage right there, man. Like,
Slack it.
there we go, man. There we go, man. So like it to Zop one as well.
I'll say slack it. Yeah, slack it. Yeah, I was gonna say like what we do today, like voting, right? For one oppressor or the other, is the same again as what I was just talking about.
There we go, man. And
You
you
know
know
what
what
I
I mean?
mean?
If you never heard it on the mic, just like today, we pay tax, man. Bedroom tax. Imagine
Mm.
this: you got a house, and you have a bedroom, and of course, you know what I mean, you're not in that bedroom because you got a bedroom of your own. You have to pay bedroom tax, man. That is slavery right there, man. Where you're forced to make someone live in your house, or you must pay a tax. It's like your crafty. You got something as well?
Mark 12 and 4. And when they had come, they say unto him, Master, we know that thou art true and carest for no man, for thou regardest not the person of men, but teachest the way of God in truth.
All right. So I'll break it down. So again, in this scripture right here, I believe it was a scribe. He came to Yahushua, and really, he's not asking genuinely. He's like, Master, we know you sent from God. You don't respect nobody. So if you read it in its context, he's not saying it like he believes it. He's saying it trying to, what's the word, trying to flatter him so that he can ask him something that he believes he can't answer. Reader.
God, is it lawful to give tribute to Caesar or not?
So now he's trying to ask him something here that if he answers it wrong, it could lead to death. Imagine this. If you're under the Roman Empire and you're saying don't pay tax, that is punishable by death. You want to know why? Because you are basically trying to teach a revolt.
Right.
So is it a lawful thing for us to pay tax? Why? Because if he says no, then what is he gonna do? He's gonna go back to Rome and look, man, look. There's a man out there saying that you shouldn't pay tax. He's revolting. This is heresy. So of course, again, with the greatest example that walked the earth, let's see how he answered it. Reader.
Shall we give or shall we not give? But he, knowing their hypocrisy, said unto them, why tempt ye me? Bring me a penny that I may see.
And guess what? You know what is fundamental there? Hypocrites. Why? Because they pay tax. You're asking him. So is it right if you do? Well, if you read the same book I read, then if you're paying tax, then why are you asking me?
Mm.
You already know the answer, so why are you asking me? Guess
Right.
what? He knew it already. He's like, they're hypocrites. They're asking me if I should pay a tax or not. Meanwhile, you're paying tax. Is it lawful? Well, if you read the Bible that he's reading, then if it was wrong, you wouldn't pay tax on it. So you already know the answer. So why are you asking? Reader,
Right.
1 second.
And they brought it, and he said unto them, who is the image on the superscription?
So now with the coin, it goes, look, whose image is on this? And of course, at that time, it would be that Roman emperor of that time. Of course, every coin, depending on who was emperor, their face would be on the coin. Just like in England, you know what I mean? Depending on what time in England you was here, the coin would have that. I believe in the Second World War, it was George, King George. You mean his face was on the money? In this time, it's Queen Elizabeth. So just like back then, depending on what Roman emperor was around, their face would be on the coin. So, you know what I mean? He told someone, hand me a coin, and he says, whose face is on this coin? Reader.
And they said unto him, Jesus.
Uh-huh.
And Jesus answered, said unto them, render to Caesar things that are of Caesar.
So now what does it mean? Meaning with that a coin right there, let them have it, man. That coin's theirs. If Rome wants their tax, the money's theirs anyway. The money ain't
Right.
yours. It's got his face on it, man. Let him have what's his, man. He wants tax. His face is on the money anyway. Make him have it, man.
That's right.
Just like in England, their face is on the £5 note, the £10 note, the £20 note. Make him have it, man. Pay your taxes. Don't be no tax evader, man. That money's theirs anyway, man. It's not
Right.
yours. So render unto them what's theirs anyway, man. The word render, it means to a give. Just making sure. So it means what's theirs, let them have it, man. Give it to them. because their face is on the money anyway. Reader. Oh, that was it. Okay, so that's the point. So yes, pay tax, but always know that you paying tax. It's not for reader. You mean you are aware of it? We're not bound in here. We know what it is. It's like I said. I'm with you, but though the thing is, in here it doesn't work. In I'll break it down for you. If you can get the verse me in Luke about a mouth which no one cannot gainsay. So that cannot gainsay. So meaning the word gainsay is when someone can take advantage of something you said. Someone go, whoa, wait a minute, but you said this. When you're in here, no one can't gainsay you, man. So absolutely, I agree with what you said. Many black people in the past, people gainsayed them, man. Had it in the spotlight. But you believe this? Isn't this racist? Isn't this that? In here, it doesn't work. And you want to know why it doesn't work? It's not because we're great. It's not because
Right.
we're so eloquent. It's because we serve the living God that made man's mouth, man.
Right.
A living God that, guess what? He gives us that wisdom. If you got that for me, Luke.
Luke 21 and 15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist.
And there you go, man. So now with the Most High, He will give us a mouth, which guess what? No one can't gainsay, or your adversaries resist, meaning they can't even fight against it, man. Once you say what you say in the name of the Lord, no one can even argue with it. Just like, I mean, what's the famous one? Are you not racist? We got the wisdom of the Lord, man. Do you know what we say? Are you racist? Well, why are you saying that? Because why are you asking me that for, man? I'm reading the Bible, man. You know what I mean? If
Right.
I'm reading the Bible, where does racism even come into this, man? You got a Bible, I got a Bible, and that same Bible you read says that God loved the Israelites. So why would you ask me if I'm a racist for? And
That's
then
true.
you give them examples. England's racist, man. While you're asking me if I'm racist, England's racist.
Right.
England enslaved the people for 400 years. Is that not racist? And then you see them, yeah, but that's in the past. But it
Mm.
is racist though, same way. In here, people can't resist, man. Instead of, you mean, them asking you, you ask them, man. And then you will notice that your adversaries, they can't resist. They're like, you know what?
Mm.
You got a valid point, man. I shouldn't be asking you if you're racist. I should look around at this country right here and accept the facts, man. Accept the realities of England. Your adversaries can't gainsay, man. So they can't resist. So yes, in the past, many black leaders, absolutely, they was on the spotlight, and you know what I mean. They was done bad, man. But in here, that doesn't happen. Why? Because, and again, not because of us, not because we're so great. It's because the God that we serve, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with us. It's nothing, you know, that, you know what I mean? You read so many books and you do this. That's nonsense. It's because we serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. That,
Right.
that's why. Is there any more in that from Luke? Or that was it. All right, no sweat. Let's get back to John 8 and 33.
Anyone can. Yahweh shall answer them, verily, verily I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin.
And there you go, man. And now that's why we need to be free from sin, man. Because once you're in sin, you are in bondage to it, man. Meaning what? You can't fight them lusts, man. You can't fight those demons, and that's why we needed Christ to make us free, man. Why? Because if you can't fight sin, then you can't fight reality, man. You
Right.
can't fight the facts that the same way we was enslaved 400 years ago, we are enslaved right now, man. If you
Right.
can't fight sin, your eyes will become blinded to reality. And you want to know why? Because we are too occupied in being in sin, man. When your mind is all up in sin, you don't have the time to look at what is in front of you, man. When people go, racism doesn't exist, that is a sinner right there, man. Don't
That's
get
right.
it. He or she, they're in their sin that much that they don't want to see it because they're focused on getting high. Getting high is on their mind so much. I don't see racism. Indians like us, man. They dress like us.
Mm,
They're not racist. That's a sinner,
mm,
right? He's in bondage. He or
mm,
she is in bondage of sin so much that to
mm,
think on reality is just too hard, man. I want to focus on sin, man. Where's the weed at, man? You know what I mean? Where is the
mm.
things that I want to do? Where is that? And that's the problem. Go on, sis. No, you can't. Smoking ganja is a sin, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
And sis, I say this with love. If you want God to be with you, ganja has to go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, that's what God says, man. Let's get it. All right, let's get it, man. Let's get Proverbs 28. Then we'll get the verses on food and you know what I mean? And I'm gonna make a statement. It's not even just weed alone, it's drugs, man. Ganja.
Mm.
No anything let me tell you, anything that you smoke is a sin. And and you absolutely can. But here's the thing that a lot of us don't understand. The whole thing of smoking something is ancient. So in the Bible, it's there not because it's talking about now. It's because in many ancient empires, they got high.
Right.
Ancient East Indian history, they got high. If you look up ancient Babylonian history, they got high and they smoked ganja. So it's nothing new. And that's why it's mentioned of in the Bible, not because the Lord is talking about today, even though those verses can be used, it's because smoking isn't nothing new as
Right.
we think. So let's get Proverbs 28. What's that? Proverbs 16 and 27. Let's grab that one first. Proverbs 16 and 27.
Proverbs 16:27. An ungodly man diggeth up evil,
All right, so we're
and
gonna break it down piece by piece. So that ungodly man he diggeth up evil. Now we're gonna explain what that is as we read on. So of course now with those herbs, where did they originate from? Yeah,
Yeah. Mhm.
from the ground. So from the soil. So this ungodly man, he's digging it up now. But it don't stop there, man. Read on.
Khan, and in his lips there is a burning fire.
And in his lips is what? The burning fire, man, meaning what? The roll, man. In between his lips, there's that burning fire.
Right.
God, that's an ungodly man does, man. Meaning
Right.
someone that serves God, they don't smoke, man. In
That's
between
right.
his lips is a burning fire. So what's the analogy? In between their lips, with the a roll up they have, is that burning fire, and they're lighting it, man. And and that's an ungodly person. We can read it one more time. Read on.
Khan, Proverbs 16:27. Salaki, sir.
Can't yet.
An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire.
And in his lips, there's a burning fire. I mean, in between his lips, there's that what's some names for it? A roll up, man. There's a burning fire in between those lips, man. Meaning what? That is ungodly. To smoke is an ungodly thing that is not what
Mm.
Israelites do, man. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
Tobacco, ganja, weed, K2, what's some other ones? You know what I mean? That's some synthetic weed which drives people crazy, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen those videos on the Birmingham High Street and you got those white people just on the bench just vomiting all over themselves. Mamba, like that one is Mamba, but before Mamba it was what K2, man. And you know what I
Mm.
mean? Those are man-made synthetic weeds, and all of it is ungodly, man. All of it, as I said before, you can research it in many ancient histories. Smoking, it was there. You know, many people think smoking's new, and the Bible doesn't talk about it when the Bible would talk about it because smoking is an old thing. The
Right.
ancient Babylonians, they smoked. You read in their books, they were smoking ganja. They just had it by another name. East Indians, they were smoking ganja too, thousands of years ago. They have a history of it. That's how ganja got to Jamaica. The whole, the whole smoking of it, that was an East Indian influence. It wasn't something that we just invented. When East Indians came to the West Indies in the 1900s, they brought ganja with them, and they was smoking from like horns like in this. Well, not exactly this horn, to be clear, but they were smoking it through horns like this. And you know, us loving the heathens so much, we learned it off them. Absolutely. Yes, 19th century. So I'll break it down for you. You know what I mean? An officer in the school has done a history class on this. So you know you can watch it too, but I'll briefly go over it. So once slavery was done with the white man, I'm gonna use that just to make it understandable. Once like slavery was done in the West Indies, jobs still needed to be worked, and because the white man hated us that much, imagine this: one, we can do those jobs, but they didn't want to pay us for those same jobs we done once slavery was abolished. So do you know what they did? They brought over Indians to do those jobs, man. Meaning a job that you done for hundreds of years. Now you could have got paid for that job, but because they hated us so much, they didn't want to pay us for that job. They said, you know what? Now we'll get Indians over. So in the 1900s, what happened? They would rather pay Indians for those jobs than instead of paying black people that was on those islands. And of course, they came with their religion, they came with their influences, and ganja is one of them. So all this weed and getting high, it's not a black thing. You know,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like when I was young, I thought weed was a black man's thing, man. I thought Lux
Mm.
was a black man's thing till when you do the research, even dreadlocks, that's Indian too, man. You know what I mean? Locks is not Rasta and black. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? Even the dreadlocks that you know what I mean you see in the West Indies and over here, that is East Indian, man. You know what I mean? Amongst us, we believe that locks, you know what I mean? It's a natural cultural absolutely not, man. That is an East Indian influence. And I believe it's in a worship to another god, which is against the a Bible right there. That is not Israelite culture right there. You know what I
Right.
mean? So on East Indian gods, they have locks. So meaning before East Indians came to the West Indies, we didn't have locks, man. We had afros, braids, and guess what? In the Bible, those same hairstyles are mentioned, man.
Right.
It doesn't matter. No, no. Okay, you are meant to have a beard, but of course, some men genetically don't grow beards. Yes, some men have a. That's a fact. There are some people out there they don't shave. They just don't grow a beard. You know what I mean? So how long or short your hair is, that's not an issue. Of course, there's rules of what you do with your hair, so you can't get lineups and things like that. You know, when people go to the barber shop and they get the nice edgings, that is a sin. That is a sin. But how long or short your hair is, that's not a sin. That's not an issue. Also, did you show the locks up there? I was ranting on a bit. I'm sorry. Bear with me. So this is the origin of dreadlocks, what we know today, where they originate from. And this is from an East Indian god called Shiva, and she has locks on her. Well, there's many pictures of her with locks, but let's get, I believe, scroll up a bit, uh, down a bit. Absolutely, that is one of their gods. Scroll down a little bit more. So on the right, on the far right, that's the one that you see in their Sikh temples as well. There's one with the colors and no, no, not red, gold, and green. You know what I mean? That's something else. But there's one, that's that one right there. You can use that one too. But there's another one where you'll see in like a Hindu, what's it called? A wara, a good wara. There's one that you will see. I believe it's that one there, and it's that one there. I mean, the quality of that one's a bit bad, but she has locks, and that's East Indian. That is East Indian. It's not black. And for so long, so many of us, we thought, locks is a black man thing. I mean, and everyone loves to use Samson. Samson didn't
Mm.
have dreadlocks. Samson had plaits, man. 7 plaits. When you look it up in the Bible, when you look at the word locks, you'll get the root word and it means braid. Samson did not have dreadlocks. Samson had 7 plaits, as we call it today. All right, no sweat. So you understand that smoking is ungodly.
Can't say.
Oh,
I got you, man. You don't phone that weed man again, man. I mean, you let him harass somebody else, man. You know what I mean? But don't make it be you, man. All right, let's get back. No, actually, we're done in John. Oh, suck it. Hakayan, you had something?
Like I said, um, you still got Proverbs 20. I think you went Proverbs 28. I think that was
Oh,
what you
yeah.
was going for next.
The water. Yeah, let me grab that in Proverbs 28.
so lucky other one.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. If I can read that. I don't know if you're
Yeah.
gonna the topic. Go on. Slakia, Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. Um, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity.
That's an excellent verse right there, man. Meaning, even till this day, we are in bondage, man.
Right.
Now, it's sad that so many of us we can't see because we got the
Mm.
ability to, go on a holiday every now and then, play your PlayStation, watch it, you know what I mean, whatever you like to watch. We don't realize that even till today, we are still in bondage, man. We
That's
are
true.
captives and don't see it. Read on.
Well, God, uh, in thy captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a scourge and a curse, Slakia.
And there you go, man. And wherever we are scattered on this earth, we are people that everyone hates. If
Right.
you really approach someone, means you don't like him.
Right.
And that is black people in England, man. Black people in America, wherever. Matter of fact, the best way to put it,
Mhm.
wherever we are scattered in the earth, we
Mhm.
are a reproach, man. We are the
That's right.
people everybody hates, man. No one wants to be around, although they want to act like you,
Right.
although they want to dress like you, they don't want to be you, man.
Right.
Well, there's a reason why. All right, I'll break it down for you. All right, there's a reason why, but I got a verse in the class that will answer that. All right, so
So,
yeah, oh, sorry,
so
it
like you said,
is yeah. Go ahead.
it's like you said, we can't hear the sister talking, you know.
Oh, you can't. Okay, no
No.
sweat. And what she said was, if everyone wants to be like us, then why can't we see that there's something great about us? And I said that in the class as we roll through. I've got a verse to answer that, so we'll get
Can't.
into that. Right,
Can't.
give me Proverbs 28 and 9.
Proverbs 28, verse 9.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 9. He that turneth away his ears from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination.
And that's the Bible, man. If you don't want to, like, if you hear this wording, like, I'm not listening, I'm gonna just, you know what I mean, do my thing. Even your prayers are an abomination, man.
That's
Meaning,
right.
in the Bible, if you don't do it, the Lord isn't with you, man. If you turn away your ear from the law, meaning you don't want to hear it, the Bible says smoking's wrong. And someone goes, I don't want to hear that, man. I mean, that ganja helps me relax, man. I mean, I had a long day at work. You know what I mean? I just need my little something, something, something. Listen, don't turn away your ear from the law, or your prayers will be an abomination, man. Meaning,
Right.
and now, of course, you know what I mean? I'm saying this generically just to make clear that when anyone prays to the Most High, he doesn't want to hear it, man. It is that deep. You know, something really, yes, it's not
Right.
figure of speech. This is literal. You
Hmm.
don't want to hear, then guess what? God doesn't want to hear you, man.
Right.
All right, we good? All right, let's get Isaiah for 46 and 1.
So like the other one.
Yeah,
I was just looking for the one in John. It says, I can't remember, it's 7 or something. But it says, now we know the Lord does not hear the prayers of, uh, what is it
um,
again?
of a sinner, sinners.
Can,
It is,
what is it? 7 and somewhere around here, 7, 8, somewhere there.
yeah. So that is a direct precept right there. So when they
Yeah.
said that, they got that from Proverbs right there.
Right.
But it's like it's John 9 and
Right. Right.
31.
And what's Lakia?
John 9 and 31.
31. Can. Yeah, shall I read it?
Yes, please, yeah, read that.
John 9:31. Now we know that God heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshipper of God and doeth his will, him he heareth.
There you go, man. So
Yeah.
that links with what we read in the book of Proverbs. Same thing. If you don't follow God when you pray, He's not listening. But if you if you do the will, then He does hear you, and it's that real.
Yeah.
Then you have to do it, and there you go. And if it is putting that ganja down, put that ganja down too, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? it says while it says, and it's something all of us had to do, man. Whether you're online, in the class, it's a realization all of us had to face, man. We wasn't born into this. You know what I mean? We had to learn every day, and we learn even till this day. And absolutely not, no smoking. Well, I wouldn't want her to be my wife. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Absolutely not. Now I'm gonna break it down to you. In the Bible, God wants perfection, man. You know what I mean? In the Bible, it's not, well, you do this, but you do this. God
Mm.
wants perfection, which is in the Bible, man. And likewise, with us in our everyday life, we should strive for perfection, man.
Right.
Your wife, oh yeah, but she cooks and cleans, but she gets high. Nah,
Mm.
you gotta strive for perfection. Now, I'm not saying, you know what I mean, you can't have a word and go, listen, if you want to be with me, that tobacco needs to leave, man. You know what I mean? If
Right.
she agrees, by all means, but no, if she's not willing to leave that alone, then guess what? Down the line, there's gonna be other things which she doesn't want to leave alone too, man. And what
Mm.
happens? It's gonna get worse. You
Right.
think that weed was one issue. If she can't do that, then what's next? So even that within itself, it is a sign, man. You know what I mean? All right, let's crack on. Let's get Isaiah 46 and 1.
Isaiah chapter 46, verse 1. Bow down, Nebo, stupid. Their idols were upon the beasts.
All right. So if you haven't read Isaiah before, Isaiah right here, he is prophesying us
Mhm.
going into Babylon. So we haven't gone into Babylon yet, but Isaiah, he's letting us know that, listen, when that time comes and we go into Babylon, not to do what the Babylonians do, man. Now,
Mm.
I mean, with these, now with Abel and Ebo, these are Babylonian gods.
Uh,
You know, now a bit of a sidebar. Even the Babylonian king, what's their names?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. That god there, Nebo, that's where he gets his name from. If you look
Mm.
up that word of his name, it means that that God knows all. Nabak knows all. Kadanza means knows everything in the Babylonian language. So even the name Nebi Kaneza, it means that that God Nabak, he knows all. So
Uh,
this God here was a Babylonian God. So now, what is Isaiah saying through the mind of the Lord, man? Saying that, listen, with the Babylonians, they love their idols, man. They,
mm.
they put them on the back of animals and they parade them around. Reader.
Khan. Their idols were upon the beasts and upon the cattle. Your carriages were heavy laden. They are burdened to the weary beasts.
So what happened, man? Isaiah's letting us know that the Babylonians love their idols, man. They put them on the back of beasts. They parade them around. Now, why is Isaiah? Sorry, you got some? We mean like today? No, no. Babylonians would be Iraqis. You know what I mean? So basically, if you look on a biblical map, where Babylon is would fall on the landmass of Iraq. You know what I mean? So basically, just think way back now because of Muhammad and the whole Islam, they follow that now. But think about a time where in that land they were there and they follow these gods. That's the best way to comprehend it. You know what I mean? So back then they had Baal, Nebo, and you know what I mean? they had their own religion up, up until the Islamic conquest, where they damn near conquered all of the Middle East and Northern Africa, to where now everyone follows Islam. But before that, everyone had their own religions. So just think about them thousands of years ago. They wasn't following Islam. They wasn't doing no Hajj. They had a god called Baal, one called Nebo as well, man. They had loads. Reader.
John on Khan, verse 2. They stood, they bowed down together. They could not deliver the burden, but themselves are gone into captivity.
And guess what? What did we do? We wanted to be like him, man. We
Right.
carried their gods on them animals too. And what's the Lord saying? That can't help you, man. Why? Because
Right.
you're under the Babylonians, man.
Mhm.
You're doing what they're doing, but the difference is you're under them.
Mhm.
They parade their gods on back of beast. You put gods on the back of beast, but you're enslaved unto them, though, man.
Right.
Showing you that you following your enemy's God can't help you, man. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're doing what they're doing, but you're the slave, and they're not. They do it, they're fine. You do it, you are under them.
Mhm.
Which goes to what you said. If they do everything that we do, then why can't we see it? Do you know why we can't see it? Because we're doing what they're doing, man. We're
Right.
in their church, we're in their mosque, and
Mhm.
even though you mean they want to be like us, we're so infatuated with trying to be like them, man.
Right.
Right.
It's in the Bible. We saw like we saw what the Babylonians done, or Isaiah his prophesying this, and he's saying that you're doing it too. But guess what? You're under them, man.
Mhm.
You don't understand that. Us partaking in the things that they do, it makes us subject to them.
Right.
It makes
Right.
us above them. And even in England, everyone wants to be like a black man. Even life. You know what I mean? You look at the adverts. You know what I mean? They don't dress how they dress. Those adverts, they're made after a black man, man. They're wearing the
Right.
things that black man would wear. On the advert, you see the white man like this and all these poses and stuff. White people don't pose like that, man.
That's right.
Right.
That's
Why?
right.
Because we are the people of the Lord. But
That's
here's
right.
the thing: we don't see it because we're trying to be like them, man.
Right.
While they're trying to be like us, we can't step back and see and go, "Hang on, I'm
Mhm.
obviously better than you because you want to be
Hmm.
like me." But we can't
Right.
see because we're too infatuated with trying to be like them.
Mhm.
And you know what I mean? And life shows you, man, look, you know what I mean? For you to be looked at as hip, you gotta be like a black man, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta talk like a black man, walk like a black man, play the songs of a black man. You can't be
Mhm.
a car playing rock and roll. You
Right.
ain't get no woman, man. You gotta
Mhm.
play that London drill, man. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You got to speak in Jamaican lingo to get a
Right.
woman. You
Right.
can't use, you know what I mean, white lingo. You ain't getting no front, man. I'm telling you
Right.
straight. I mean, you ain't getting no
Mhm.
side. You know, it's like, that's an old term. But you mean you ain't getting nothing. But you guess what? They gotta be like you, man, and they
Right.
know it. They
Mhm.
know it. But guess what? We don't know it because we're too busy trying to be like them. Reader.
Canada Khan, verse 3. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of Jacob, Salakia, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which
Now,
are carried from the
so
womb.
now, what's the point of so? What is the point of the Lord's trying to make that? Listen, you bear them idols around, but guess what? I bear you in the belly, man. I make sure
Right.
that your mom, that you mean she has you in the belly and you're safe, man. You're born
Mhm.
safe. Those idols ain't protecting you. When you're in the belly, I'm protecting you, man. I mean, I am bearing you, man.
Right.
And that's the thing that we don't get, man. following your enemy's God does not help you. And Isaiah, he prophesied it. He's saying, look, you're gonna do what the Babylonians do, and guess what? You're gonna be under them, man. They do
Mm.
that, and it works for them, but it won't work for you. But the Lord, who He born you, He,
Right.
you mean He holds us up. He's gonna
Right.
protect
Mm.
you.
Karanka, born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb. Verse 4.
There
And
you go.
even to your
So I'll break it down. So the same way the Babylonians, they carry around their idols, the Lord, He carries us, man. Saying, look,
mm,
like, why would you serve them when it's me, man?
that's right.
I mean, I'm the one protecting you, not no Babylonian idol, man.
Right.
On the back of some horse, and it's
Mm.
how you did
Mm.
that, and guess what? You're under the same people that you wanted to be like, man.
Right.
So that's it. There you go. Let's let's give that a hand, man. You know what I mean? Right. If you never heard it, you know what I mean what she said was heavy. How can you serve a God that you made with your own hands? Meaning,
Right.
meaning with that image you see, it didn't just come here
Right.
by chance. Someone made it. You know what I mean? And how can that be God? Now, of course, that makes sense now. But
Mm.
if you said that back then, no one
Mm.
just could not see it, man.
Right.
Many
Right.
times in the Bible, God reiterates it to the Israelites, the work of man's hands, the silver, the gold. And because they done it, we wanted to do it, man. Just wanting, there you go, and just wanting to be like them. And that's the problem though. But the thing is, even if a black man or a woman is unaware of it, it it doesn't make it right, man.
Right.
Even if we are ignorant to it, God finds it unacceptable. It
Mm.
doesn't. Yeah, but he don't know. Now it's sad that he don't know, but he needs to get to know, and that's something that you know. What I mean, you can't hide behind that, and that's why you got the UPK,
Right.
so that every black man, Hispanic man, and woman, you get to know, man.
Mm.
It starts in here, man. You come in here and you learn. You know what I mean? And we do camp. You know what I mean we are in the highways and the byways doing what? Making sure people get to know because
Right.
the Lord doesn't look at ignorance like how the world does. Whether
Mm.
you are unaware, you are still guilty.
Right.
And that's something that, you know what I mean, we are still accountable of. It doesn't
Mm.
take away. There you go, man. And that one too. But read on.
Karanka, verse 4. And even to your old age, I am he. And even to Hor, Horez, will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear, even I will carry, and will deliver you.
And there you go. So from them, from the Babylonians, they bear theirs. And God's saying, listen, I'm gonna bear you, man. Meaning
Mm.
what? Let them have their gods, man.
Right.
Don't get infatuated with them. You know what I mean with their nice big
Uh,
idols on the back of a beast. Why? Because God is gonna carry us, man. That's the
right.
point. Lord making that. Listen, you know what I mean? While you're in their land, let the Babylonians do what they're doing. But always
Right.
know I'm gonna bear you, man. I'm
Right.
gonna carry you. Let them carry around Baal and whatever other god. But look, man,
Mhm.
there's something greater that is carrying you, man.
That's
And that's
right.
what you need to know. Whenever you
Mhm.
see a mosque, a church, always know that God is greater than both of them, man.
That's right.
What what you see going on in there, what God has for you is greater than what they could ever imagine, man. It's like you said, you got something.
Right.
I'm not sure about that. I'll get confirmation, but the point being though, we are Israelites. Either way, a Buddha is not for us, man.
Right.
Right.
I got you. Now I'm gonna help you out. Even all right, no sweat. Even that whole East Indian thing, that doesn't help black people. All right, who remembers about 15 years ago? It was a Buddha concept. What was it called? For Feng Shui. Who who remembers that? And it was a concept where if you put certain things in your house, you get rich. You mean? And many people into it in like 2010 or 25. You mean? I had a friend in the world, and his bigger brother, he was heavy into it, man. In the house, incense here, the chair by the window, thinking that, with that God, it would make him rich. Listen, he's not rich, man.
Right.
It's nonsense. No religion helps black people. Feng Shui didn't make black people rich, man. You
That's
mean
right.
and the feng shui and I put this idol here and the incense and one by their bed on the right and you put the chair by the window, you put some more incense there and it's gonna enlighten the energy so that you mean with them that what's the saying? With them the wealth, it's gonna come my way. Let me tell you something. We're in hands were still, man.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You mean feng job, man? Feng job seekers allowance. That's what you mean. Fung benefits, man. You know what I mean? It didn't do nothing, man. Showing you that
Right.
concept of what the a Buddhist had, it was nonsense. Feng Shui didn't help black people, man. So even that, the point I'm making again, while we're in these religions, it's evident that it doesn't work, man. While you're in it, Feng Shui and the incense and look, you're not. It's not working. Let me tell you something. And you know what's funny? He done that for years. And one day I went back to the house, all that was gone, man. I didn't see no incense burner, Buddha. I didn't see none of that. Why? Because after a while, you got to have common sense to do it. You got to have the common sense. And he was heavy into it, man. In his bedroom, the living room, downstairs, incense, Buddha, everything. And at that time, it was big. I don't know why, but it was big, and it never made no one rich. And black people was heavy into it, man. I was about 10 years old, and I remember it, and no one made money off it, man. No wealth energy came through those doors, man. You know what I mean? Why? Because that religion of Buddhism is a farce, man.
Right.
So you can go to it if you want, but I'll help you out now. You're wasting your time.
That's
Uh,
right.
Think this good energy is coming my way and in a necklace wearing fake pearls and jewels. You know what I mean? It's nonsense, man. It doesn't work, man. A jewel can't bring you salvation, man. Amethyst, fake amethyst rocks can't bring you salvation. Let me tell you something. In that religion, all those diamonds are where they're fake. They're
Right.
anyway. You can go into those Hindu shops. All that merchandise is fake. No one can buy real amethyst diamonds, man. They're rare. That's why they're mentioned of in the Bible because they're rare and you're gonna have them on Handsworth in Soul Road for £1. Really, because because it's not real diamonds, man. It's not real pearls. It's not real amethyst. It's a joke, man. It's like I got something on line as well.
From what I know, the weed itself is lawful, have as a medicine, or smoking alone.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. In the Bible, what say the medicines come from the earth. So absolutely, you mean weed as a medicine is not a crime, but to smoke weed, that is a crime. We
That's
go
right.
to the Bible.
that's
So okay, I want to make this nice and clear. No one has a problem with hemp. It's a plant that, yeah, the white man's term is hemp. You know what I mean? We call it weed and ganja, but what they call it is hemp. Hemp is not a crime. God made hemp, absolutely. But the smoking of hemp and using it as a drug, that is the crime.
That's right.
Absolutely. So you mean like even what's the other drug? It's in the seed, the a poppy seed. You mean that is not a sin? God made that a poppy seed. So that's where like those that's where those like hard drugs originate from. Heroin, crack, poppy seeds. Those seeds is they are not a sin. God made them. When you're using it as a drug, then it becomes a sin.
I think initially cocaine was used for not pain,
Absolutely.
anesthetic or anesthetic. So when they no pain, they put that in go and then numb it. Like that.
There you go. So as what you said, if you never heard it, with those seeds right there, they were used to numb pain, man. And now
God.
that's what they're made for, man. It's a medicine out of the earth. You're having an operation and you need to get numb. Those seeds are made by God, man. And they have
Right.
their but when you're snorting it down your nostrils, then that becomes a problem.
Right.
You like pebbles? You probably probably people have used the
The crack. No, no, that's not the same one. No, no. With with the one that makes like you know what I mean like what's some other drugs? The heroin, the crack, all that. It's like a brown plant, like a brown ball, and with and basically with the white stuff, it's on the inside, but it's wet, so you gotta dry it down. Now that plant is not a sin. It has its use, but it's not for you getting a line. It's not for that, man.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Those
like it goes back to the level for weed was a black man's thing, like so many groups have it. Where did that originate from?
So what's the question again? Did it?
Did smoking weed originate from?
All right, smoking weed. We're gonna get it for you, but it's from East India in the Elamite Empire, and from the a. It's the not. There's two empires that sound the same. It's the Syrian, not Syrian, Assyrian Empire. You look up their ancient records. They were smoking what would be called ganja as well. So those two empires have the oldest written accounts of ganja smoking. Assyrian Empire and the Elamite Empire, which would be India of today. So when we're gonna get that, so I'll back in 1 second, right? Leave this up.
I'll read verse 3 again while it's gone. So, um, Isaiah 46, verse 3 again. Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb. Right? So the Lord created us, man. The Lord made us, and He carried us from the womb. Right? Not no stone or no wooden cross, you understand, or any such thing, man. Not no
Right.
idol, where you have to go and pick them up and you have to carry them and you have to move them here and there, brush them off, set them up. You know what I mean? Not the creator that made us, man.
That's
You
right.
understand? Yeah. See what this was saying.
All right. Yeah. So yeah.
Mhm.
Then I'll get Antoinette's one next. about the pharmaceuticals or witchcraft. Okay,
Ancient uses. Hemp is possibly one of the earliest plants to be cultivated. Cannabis has been cultivated in Japan since the pre-Neolithic period for its fibers as a food source are possibly a psychoactive material.
there. So, what do you mean by it's psychoactive? It's your mind, man. Your
Okay.
mental state. So
Mm.
even in Japan, they use it as a psychoactive thing too, meaning for your mind, meaning they smoked it, man. Smoke it and
Right.
it your head, you feel dizzy, even
Mm-hmm.
in Japan. So so now the point being made is that weed is not a black thing. The earliest accounts, you know what I mean, even go back more than what I know of, even to Japan,
Mm.
and they were smoking hemp, aka weed, aka ganja.
Mm.
Japanese people were doing it too. So it's not a black thing like how we think. We think it's us.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Reader.
So like, yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, that's what I just wanted to throw in hashish as well, innit? But this thing nowadays of these Pakistani
Hashish,
or whatever. Hashish.
and that's same thing I believe as well.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
reader.
Okay. So, an archaeological site of Oki Islands near Japan contained cannabis archives from about 8,000 BC.
Mm-hmm.
Probably significant use of a plant. Hemp use archaeologically dates back to the Neolithic age in China. It's found in Yangoshai culture, pottery, in the
Yeah. So now, in the next line, you know what I mean hemp can be used for other things too. So is the plant bad in itself? Absolutely not, man. Reader.
Ghana. The Chinese later used hemp to make clothes, shoes, ropes, and early form of paper.
There you go. So hemp ain't bad. God made hemp, man, and
Right.
it can be used for so many things. But
Mm. Mm-hmm.
smoking it isn't one of them, man.
That's right.
Reader.
Cannabis was an important crop in ancient Korea, with samples of hempen fabric discovered dating back as early as 3000 BC.
All right. No sweat. So in the Far East, it's given its account. So Japan and etc. So yes, in Japan, from what we read, some of them did get high, but their main use, they used it for to you know what I mean. They used it in the right way more. But now
Mm.
let's look into India. Reader.
Hemp is called ganja in Sanskrit, the other modern Indo-Aryan language.
All right. So if you don't know Sanskrit, that's an ancient Indian language. You
Mm.
know what I mean? I believe only I believe that even in India now, many people they can't even speak it or like even read it. So it's an
Cool.
ancient Indian language and the writing. So in those old Eastern Indian times, hemp or weed was called ganja. Where's that? Not on the Indian one. That was like Japan and China and that. Reader.
Some scholars suggest that the ancient drug soma mentioned in the Vedas was cannabis.
And there you go. So now with the Indians, they use it as a drug more. So in
Mm.
Japan, people get high, absolutely, but they used it more the right way. But amongst the East Indians, they use that for a drug, and they called it ganja, which even the word the etymology comes from them. It's not a black man's term. It's not just certain black people just happen to call ganja. East
Mm.
Indians brought that to the West Indies, and they always had that name for it called ganja. Reader.
Although this theory is disputed, Banga is mentioned in several Indian texts dating before 1000 CE.
Uh huh.
However, there is logical debate among Sanskrit scholars as whether this Banga can be identified as Bang or cannabis.
So now you got ganja, that is one word. There's another word called banga, but that one they debate over what banga is. So we don't care what banga is, but we know what ganja is.
Right.
Cannabis was also known to the ancient Assyrians,
Uh-huh.
who potentially utilized it as an aromatic.
As an aromatic, man. Meaning what? They let it just go in the air. Meaning some people they get high by smoking it, or some people they just pull it in the air, man. A hot box. Yeah, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's like now it's the smoke that you're not smoking it, but you inhaling it can get you high too, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like what's the term, man? It's
Passive.
uh,
Passive.
a passive
Okay.
smoking, meaning you're not smoking it directly, but you are still inhaling it, and it's giving you the same effects as someone who was smoking it. Read
Right.
that.
Cannabis was also known to the ancient Assyrians, who potentially utilized it as an aromatic. They called it nabu and nabu, which will signify a way to produce smoke. A potential origin of the modern word cannabis.
There you go, man. So even the word cannabis we use now, that is from the Assyrian Kwanubu. Read on. Is that it? Don't it? Let's beat it. So yeah, so the whole point is that you know what I mean weed, ganja, cannabis, it's not a black thing, man. It
Mm.
predates us, and you know what I mean. It's not black. You know what I mean. So many of us think that that's a black thing when it's not, man. And you know what we should do? Let the heathens have it, man.
Right.
Right.
Let them have cannabis, man. You know what I mean. Let them get high, and we serve the Lord, man. We serve the
Mm.
God of
Right.
Israel. All right. Read on in Isaiah.
Another one can. Verse 4, I think. Um, and even to your old age, I am he, and even to hoar hairs will I carry you. I have made, and I will bear, even I will carry, and will deliver you.
There you go, man. And the Lord's saying, listen, He can deliver us. No one else can't bear us, man.
Mm.
Skip to the last verse.
Can. Verse 13. I bring near my righteousness, it shall not be far off,
And there you
and
go,
my
man.
salvation.
And the Lord's saying, listen, I'm bringing my righteousness, and it's
Mm.
not far off, man. Meaning, me coming back to help you, it's not far, man.
Right.
And that's something we need to understand, man. What we see going on in the world, always know that the Lord, He's bringing His righteousness, and it's
Uh,
not far. It's not far off. Meaning what? We can reach it, man.
right.
We can reach it. The Lord's righteousness is not far off.
Mm.
Read on.
Can. And okay. And my salvation shall not tarry, and
And
I
yeah, man.
will.
It's like, and with the salvation of the Lord, it won't wait, man.
Right.
Meaning, you change your life and serve the Most High, you can get it now, man.
That's right.
His salvation ain't a far off, and the salvation ain't waiting, man. So his righteousness ain't a far off, and his salvation is not a tarrying, man. It's not waiting. Meaning what? We can get it now, man. But
Right.
what does it? But we have to change. You can't
That's
want something with no change. It's life. Everything requires action, and if you want it, you got to do something about it.
right.
Absolutely not. No, in the Bible, the Lord has a time limit. We don't know how long, and people will die. Now, of course, you know what I mean. Our job is to save everybody, man. In the UPK, we don't, read well. People are gonna die, Nah. In here, our job is to die trying to save everybody. You know what I mean? So now, the point being is, what the Lord has for us, it is obtainable. It's not far off. It's not waiting. It just requires us to go and get it, man. Read on.
Right. God, and I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory.
And that's how you know who salvation's for, man. The
Right.
salvation is in Zion, man.
Mhm.
Salvation is not for everybody. I
Right.
know in church, everyone's being saved. Nonsense, man. God says his salvation is only with Zion, man. And who is
That's
Zion?
right.
You, black man. God is only saving black people, man. Hispanics, Native Indians. No, okay. When it comes to Zion, it's just a word that represents Israel. So the
Right.
point being, salvation is only for us. Nowhere in the Bible is salvation spoken of for any other people.
That's
And
right.
if you don't believe me, in Isaiah, God's making it specific. Listen, I'm putting salvation in Zion, man. Why?
Mhm.
Because Zion need it, man.
Mhm.
Salvation. What is the root word? Save.
Say, right.
And black people need saving, man. I
Mhm.
mean, we are the people on the earth that need saving. No other nation needs no saving. They're fine, man.
Right.
Right.
Indians have India. Bangladesh has got Bangladesh. Every
Mhm.
nation has something, but there's one people that don't, man.
That's
And
right.
hence why we need saving. Hence why we need the Lord, man.
Mm.
Let me get some more. Let's get Galatians 5:1.
Book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free.
Oh, so
And
if you
be
read that one more time,
another one can. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ had made us free.
and there you go, man. Like in Isaiah 61:1, where Christ said he came to free the captives.
Right.
Even in Galatians, saying the same thing, man. Under Christ, we become free. I mean,
God.
of course, firstly, free from your sins, and also free from the bondage of this world, man. Free from
Right.
the ways, free from the mental enslavement that we have, man.
Right.
There you go. And what is love? But that's my. But okay, yes, absolutely. But what is love? And how do you do that? And here's the thing, though. But what is love? That's not love. And what does that mean? See, that's not answering the question. Now, no, no, no. Okay, no sweat. It's not your fault. What it is with religion, they've never told you what love means. So when people ask you what is love, and not just you, anyone, it becomes, oh, love is this and then the best one is, well, if you know not God, you know not love. They get, okay, but what is love? And
Mhm.
no one can give you an answer because no one never went into the same book that they claim to read and found out what love was. That's the problem. No, no, but you know, ask the question, what is love? You're saying love is this. What is love? And what is love? But you're not answering the question. God is love is not answering what love is. That's not answer. Okay. All right. I'm gonna help you out. If I say to you, what is a book? Then listen now. I'm gonna say this. What is a book? A book is heavy. A book has weight. That's not what is a book. You are describing certain attributes of a book. But what is a book? A, a book is something you open and read. It has an index, an appendix. That is saying what is a book. I can't say what is a book. A book is heavy. A book is black with leather. A book has this. That's not answering what is a book. So now, what is love? All right. So now we're gonna break down to you what is love according to the Bible. We get it.
2 John, verse 6. And this is love.
So what? And this is love. So now with John, he's gonna explain what love is. Read on.
And this is love, that we walk after his commandments.
That we do what?
Walk after his commandments.
And that's love. That what you do the commandments in the Bible, man. That
Mm.
is love. It's not describing, love is patient. It's, no. It's saying this is love, and it's explaining what love is. So now, example, when people say, with God, His love, what is love? Read that again.
And this is love, that we walk after his commandments.
There you go. That is a definition, and there you go. Absolutely. So if God's look, at first you did not say that. To be fair, you didn't say that. You're saying it now because we read it in 2 John, but that wasn't the initial standpoint. Now you know what I mean. So now in the Bible, it gives you breakdowns of what love is. So I mean, you know what I mean. It's not no one's fault, but in religion, love gets thrown around so much. I mean, you ask someone, well, what is love? Love your neighbor. Love this. No. What is love? And come on, we know
Right.
definitions of words. Someone go, well, love
Mm.
is this, but because religion is been in our minds so much, when someone asks you, it's like epiphany, like raw, like love is kind, yeah, and yeah, man, love is this, and why? Because in the church, no one ever broke it down, man. While as the same Bible they claim they read, it lets you know what love is, and love
Right.
is doing the commandments of God, man.
That's
Love
right.
is, you know what I mean, not smoking. Love is, you
Mhm.
know what I mean, following the holy days. Love is, you know what I mean, everything that God says we should do, and that is
Right.
the definition by default, man.
Because
So
look, yeah,
yeah, but
yeah, the one I was watching the Manchester camp, innit? I watched it a couple of times, but yeah, when the guy comes up and he's talking about love of the love is the spirit, and love is kind, love is spirit, love is this, and then he couldn't answer what love is. You know what I mean?
that's right,
So
man.
it just back to that, right?
There you
But,
go. And you know what I mean? It's a religious thing where
hmm
it gets thrown around so much that when someone goes, but hang on, no, what is that? Like, raw. Is this? Is that? But no one ever thought, well, hang on, what is love? And you know what I mean? It's something that, you know what I mean? It's not exclusive to one individual. It's something
mm,
that religion does where definitions of words, they don't get into it. Well, let's read Galatians 5 and 1, and that'll be it, I believe.
Come on, everyone, come on. Stand, okay. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage.
And there you go, man. Meaning what? If you if you go back into that bondage, you ain't free no more, man. And that's what Christ came to do, man. Save us from that prison house. Save
Right.
us from that bondage, man. And that's what you're meeting the UPK. That's what we teach, man. So that's the class. I'm gonna hand it over to priest and officer of 5,000.